Do you want aim like this?
Oh, is that two? One left side, one left side.
Three there, all three there.
Oh, yeah, one more.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, you're so sick. Oh!
Hey guys, in today's guide I'll talk about the two types of aiming that you must develop if you want to get better at aiming in Valorant. The most common way people go about improving their aiming is through aim trainers such as aimlabs and Kovacs, and playing deathmatch. And that is really all you need. However, I want to talk about how to specifically improve raw aiming and then apply that to in-game by improving your passive aiming. The first thing we gotta talk about is your sensitivity. Today I will only give you a general guideline of what range you should be within, but in the future I will discuss this topic in a more in-depth way. Using 800 DPI, anything in between 0.25 to 0.5 is a good range to be at. If you're more of a wrist aimer, you should be on the higher end of the range, and if you're more of an arm aimer, you should be at the lower end of the range. Raw aim is what you usually practice when you do something like aimlabs or Kovacs. The problem is a lot of players end up wasting their time doing meaningless exercises. Also, 30 minutes every single day is more than enough to make progress in aim trainers. Tracking average score rather than always trying to push for new high scores is a better mindset to have when playing aim trainers for improvement. I will list some good scenarios in aimlabs since it's free compared to Kovacs, and these scenarios should have decent carryover to Valorant. 6-shot is an amazing scenario, in my opinion the cornerstone of every routine. This scenario will basically tell you where you stand in terms of raw aiming ability. The targets are small and you have to execute this task with precision while trying to go as fast as you can. Unlike grid shot, this exercise has a very small margin of error. Focus on improving your average score over time and you will see results. Now, grid shot has a bad reputation, but in my opinion it is still a decent scenario. It is good for general warm-up and to get you more alert. It doesn't have a big carryover to Valorant, but I would still do it. Focusing on accuracy will build good habits, and please don't do this exercise for more than 15 minutes a day. This is one of those exercises where it's very intensive, and if you overdo it you can definitely get injured. So do no more than 5 to 7 runs every day and just focus on getting your average score up. This one exercise is called Valorant Ascent Microflex, and this one is extremely good for micro adjustments. As usual, go slower, focus on accuracy, and focus on improving your average score. Anything over 140k in this exercise is really good. Valorant Ascent Headshot is also another great exercise for micro adjustments. Everything I said about microflex applies here, and a score of above 120k is really good. And finally, with the Valorant Ascent Wall Peak, this is a great scenario to practice crosshair placement. As you can see in this scenario, you gotta be conscious about how much you swing, because if you swing too wide, more of your body will be shown and you will be hit by the lasers and lose score. So you gotta develop both your accuracy and speed in this exercise, as well as the perfect amount of swing out of a corner. Anything over 110k is seriously good in this exercise. Passive aiming is essentially crosshair placement in a nutshell, and this is perhaps the most important type of aiming in Valorant. This is how people with less raw aiming ability are able to keep up with some players who are generally more gifted in terms of raw aiming ability. Crosshair placement is more than just keeping your crosshair at that level. It is predicting whether your enemies swing wide or close to the corner. The whole point is to minimize how much you have to move your mouse, so you only have to micro adjust and minimize the amount of flicking. This will make you more consistent, win more gunfights, and thus have more impact in your rounds. And all of that increases your chances to win your game. You can use deathmatch as a means to practice both your raw aim and your passive aim. For raw aim, you want to play as aggressively as you can, taking every duel and getting into all types of gunfights. And you can even force awkward angles that you normally whiff during a match to try and get better at those once the situation calls for it in a match. As for crosshair placement, you can practice it as well in deathmatch. You can choose a general area to stay and just try to predict exactly how enemies will swing you out. But don't do this while you have full sound. Have some background music on and lower your in-game sound. Otherwise you're not practicing crosshair placement. Because remember, in an actual match, most of the times you'll be holding an angle against an opponent. They won't be running all the time, so you won't have the sound cues. A bonus tip is to also incorporate Guardian and Sheriff only into your deathmatches, as that will really force you to have perfect crosshair placement, as those guns are one-shot kills and there's very little room for error. As you get better at aiming, sometimes you will even be able to win deathmatches with the Sheriff only setup. That's it guys, I hope this guide has helped you and I see you guys in the next video.